Yeah, what up, what up, what up, what up? PVM Talk Show, Positive Vibes, maybe. I go by the name of Jeide A-Track. How y'all doing this beautiful Sunday evening? We're here once again. And as usual, we have another topic to and as usual, we have another topic to present to y'all. We're gonna be talking tonight about being his peace. Now, I have my own reservations regarding the statement, regarding the narrative. Let's just wait until Dash gets up in here so that we can do this thing proper the way that we always do this thing. But before we get into it, how y'all doing? How y'all living? How y'all feeling? We about to put up the topic for everybody in the comment section. Then we're going to send out our invitations to people who, have frequented the show, or to those who may express interest in joining the live. And then we're going to get right into it, you know what I'm saying? But per usual, if y'all have any topics that y'all would like for us to touch upon, hit us up in the DMs, PVM Talk Show. Hit us up in the DMs, or hit me, Jeide A-Track up, or Dante-Smith up. Going for real. Let's start off with this, though. We're going to tag this topic, pin it rather, and we're going to send out these invitations. For several people. We ain't gonna make it too crazy, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. And it's out, you know what I'm saying? Dash, what's going on with you, fam? And fam already in the building, so let's get things moving and grooving and shaking and baking how we usually do. You dig? All right.
Yo, yeah.
Yo, fam, what's going on with you?
How you feeling? How you feeling today?
Cool. I had a rest day, which I appreciate. The job about to work at a couple weeks, so I'm glad that I got here before the spring season traffic starts rushing in and kicking my ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt.
That God is good, man. How are you?
Yeah, God's good. God's good all the time. I'm good. I'm in good vibes. Today I can't complain. Today I can't complain at all. Like everything's been one of it's been copacetic and one of one. You know, no need crying about what I can't fix. I just embrace the fact that I'm here. I'm still here to have an opportunity to fix it. Like,
Nah, that's a fact. That's a super fact. Kia, what's going on with you, love?
you know. Definitely. She said good night, y'all.
Right on.
So Instagram got this new feature where we can like now. So I've been loving that. Like on the comments, like you can actually hit the like button and like a comment mid form. I knew TJ was fine. So wait, before we get all into the mix, just gotta get a few things off my chest before we get too caught up into tonight's conversation. So first order of hand of business. Gotta shout out my guy Joel Hans MB. For winning the NBA scoring title this today. Like shout outs to the Cambodian. Big ups to him. My Sixers. We're going into the playoffs. NBA playoffs start on Tuesday. So we tuned in, we locked in. It's still champagne and cigars, even though they've been giving me reasons to doubt that, like it's still that's still the mantra until we out. Like, so shout out to Joel, Also, shout out to Selena. She was a guest on the show not too long ago. Her book is out and she distributing different copies of it. So reach out to her if you like a copy of one of her books. And also another viewer of ours, Alexis. I forgot her last name, but she got a book out as well. Love Poems, I believe. So definitely tap in and show her some support as well. And that's all I got for right now. Like besides support us and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Positive Vibes Maybe. I see the views going up. Also, for those of you that are expecting t-shirts from us, the shirts will be arriving shortly. We're just having a distribution issue, so just be patient with us, but they will be out to you guys eventually. And well, let's just start the chit chat. Let's just get into the mix of it. Like, so, um, today's topic was brought up really by Facebook, because like throughout on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yo, shout out to Twitter, because they finally let me out of Twitter jail and I'm back on Twitter. Although I had to make a new account, like, so I've been laying low and not trying to say anything while on Twitter, just for the simple fact I don't want to be logged off again. And I know how I felt where Gilly was coming from, to bring that up. Like, because when he started venting about how Wiz Khalifa did him by reporting his account and getting his account taken down, because he had a comment, I felt him on that. I felt him on many levels, because the same thing happened to me on Twitter, where you just speak your mind and all of a sudden people just start hating and they start reporting your account. Like, yo, tell me, disagree with me, ignore my comment. Don't report my account so now I can't comment no more. Like, you're doing too much. Like, and I felt guilty, because I was just like, damn, Wiz, you being a little sensitive. We talking about guys and their draws, Me, I was just talking about people basketball knowledge, and it be the small things that be really irritating people. And I know, like, it's hard to hear the truth. The truth hurts, right? Especially when you weren't anticipating somebody to be so bluntly and honest with the truth. But like, let us be. Like, this is the internet. So let's move on from there. So as I was traveling on all my social media accounts, one thing that's been prevalent, the last few weeks, has been like women empowerment and holding men accountable, and feeling totally appreciated, which they should feel, And I'm not on the fence of saying they shouldn't feel this way, but for me, what became alarming was, like, it was a constant, what I need as a woman, what a woman needs, what's best for the woman. It was just like, well, damn, like, it takes two parties to be in a relationship. You can't have a relationship solely based on one person getting everything, all the affection, all the time, all the generosity. I was just like, when is it the man's time? When is it, baby, we should tender to your needs? When are the needs of a man catered to? Because we do get lost into this place where we're only catering to the woman's needs and her desires, and it's only her wishes that's getting met. And it's just like, well, where are the guys' needs getting met? How do you really know that you're meeting your mate if he's a male, if you aren't really, consistently having that conversation about what is it that you desire? What is it that I can do to be a better partner for you? How, like, let's kind of not always just focus not solely on the ladies, but like, let's focus solely on the party at hand, like both of our needs, like, while I should be meeting yours, I feel like the ladies should be meeting the males as well, and I don't feel like that's really addressed enough nowadays, Now, I ain't saying that's all ladies. This is not all ladies, like, this is definitely not all ladies. But there is a large number where the man's needs aren't met. And the girl for the promo video we used, she said one particular thing where she was talking about men and marriages, like how when a woman's upset in the household, it's an issue. But when a man's upset, it's almost just like it's another day, like business as usual. You better toughen up, chalk them emotions up, and keep on persevering and be a man. And it's almost like, damn, like, men aren't we allowed to at some point to share our emotional wall and break down and be emotional like human beings, because we aren't machines. So now I'm opening up the floor to you. Get your opinions, get your views. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, I'm gonna read Kia comment. So she said, women verbalize their needs more often. Yes, this is true. And with that, I'm going to open up the floor to you as I answer this question, Jeide. So women do verbalize their needs more often. I'm not saying men don't verbalize their needs. I actually feel like men, we do verbalize our needs I honestly feel like in most cases, the females we're with aren't really receptive of, hearing our needs. And it's met with a lot of trepidation and a lot of, oh, why are you complaining? Why are you bitching? Why aren't you being a man? As opposed to, oh, okay, this is what you need. And then sometimes I feel like we as men just don't know how to articulate what we need. Like we might be expressing what we need, but we're not saying it in a way that's understandable and digestible for our female mate. And maybe the way we choose to express it, and maybe sometimes even the time and when we decide to express what we need is bad timing. So now I'm gonna open up the floor to you.
Right on. Let's see. You said something interesting in terms of like a possibility of men not being with a woman who I guess honors that emotional need that a man has to either express or to have their needs met. There's a quote, shout out to Juice cousin Phil, put me onto the quote, dope quote. Um, I was tripping over an ex one time about some shit, you know what I'm saying? Just going through some feels, and he told me something ill. He was just like, "Yo, you gotta learn when to eat the meat and to spit out the bones." So and that shit was fascinating to me because most of the time we absorb so much from these other people, from these schools of thoughts, from these articles, from these memes, from these institutions and all that, and we just take everything as raw data instead of taking what's meant for us and leaving alone what's not meant for us. You know what I mean? So in the same groove, in what you said about, men being in a relationship where a woman doesn't honor that, you know what I'm saying, that man's attention needs to be met, you know what I'm saying? Do you feel like this is even relevant to men in that case? Because if that's the case, then that means that you ain't going to be heard, period. Not even enough to have a conversation of this matter. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about universality here. We're talking about people who get it and people who don't. So if a man is in a situation, obviously, shorty don't get it. I'm I'm finding I want to know what the relevance is as far as like, because if you just talking to a brick wall at that point, you know what I'm saying, it's up to the man to decide whether he's going to leave the situation if the woman ain't going to honor him like that. Like, we all have the power within ourselves to make our situations better, and that up to our standards to serve us in the way that we know we need fit. You know what I'm saying? So what's the relevance as far as these men who are in these situations that keep finding themselves with women who don't honor them like that, but they constantly go online and they see other women who's telling them, yo, your woman needs to honor you like that. Like, where's the relevance? Where's the line going to get?
That's true. That's on them to be better at picking their partners. But I also don't always feel like it's looking at a dead wall. Like sometimes I feel like you could be in a situation of like this may be your first experience encountering this. Like you could have dealt with, like, I do feel like there are women that dealt with men that show them so little of their emotion that when they do come across a man that decides to show his emotion or is open and revealing his emotions towards her, you know, the way she receives them and way she's able to, respond back to what he's asking, it might be a little different. It might be a little hard for her initially without him, like walking her through the stages of what he exactly needs. Because if you never dealt with anybody or never had that need, you never really developed that skill for that need. And it's hard to really give somebody what you aren't really equipped to give. So, and in those instances, I'm just like, I'm more work it out. But if the man has already like expressed himself, try to work with you on, meeting his needs, and you still aren't responsive, I do feel like that's on him to walk away, because at that point it can only get bad because I feel like you're already invested in this woman enough where if you're like trying to reach out to her to get her to see your side and be vulnerable and emotional, you're already tied to her. So like staying any longer after she's showing you that she's not going to meet what you need, it's only going to hurt you and damage you as a man, because you're going to keep trying to push her to be like, I need you to be what I want. And that's going to frustrate you even more and make the situation more toxic than it has to be, you know, when you could just kind of just step away and be like, you know what I'm asking for, she isn't giving me, you know, and be honest with yourself and kind of take out the notion of, oh, I wanna fuck her, or I want to be with her, or I want to make this work, and just be like, look, is she giving me what I need as a man, you know, like to be all I can be? Because a man happy will protect his home, like, you know, like, and that's what I liked about what the girl was saying about like the man's happiness, and I feel like we don't really talk about it enough, because I do feel like a woman is gonna put that battery in a man's back. Um, like well, I'm gonna speak for myself right now. I've been in relationships before where, you know, like the woman, I won't say like she inspired me, but like she definitely kept an energy in my back where it was just like, you know what, I don't want to fuck up what I'm doing because I want my baby to be proud of me too, you know. And out of that, it made me grind maybe like a tenth or more than I was prior, you know, and kind of kept me on my shit, you know. And women do provide that for a man. And like when a man is really invested in a woman, he'll climb the highest of mountains for her. So like it's nothing like he won't feel like he's like Superman. But also like when that love is damaged, that man, it will bring down his energy the same way it uplifted them. Like, and we gotta be mindful of that, you know, like, and a man, like, we don't always express what we're going through. So sometimes we internalize that shit. So now we walking around with this, the weight of the world on us, because we still shouldering all the needs that our loved ones expecting us to shoulder. Plus we carrying all the baggage that we aren't really unloading on anyone else. And then, you know, like what? Like you got your lady telling you you're not doing enough, but in your mind you're just like, well, damn, like how much can I give? How much more is there to give? You know, like I feel like I'm giving you all, like of me at this point. Like where do I find my peace? Where do I find my time to heal? Where do I find my time to breathe? You know, like.
Let me ask you a question. Actually, before we ask that question, let's get to the comments. Kia said, right, why settle for someone that doesn't meet your needs? Let's stop trying to shape people and allow people to be who they are and choose if that's for you. It's a wonderful point, kid. Let me ask you a question, and this is for everybody up in the comment section too. Uh, let's say you married. Let's say you got yourself a couple of jobs. They paying well. You holding it down. You the breadwinner for the family. You got your wife. You know what I mean? She love you. And you know, regular pressures of being a man, regular pressures of just, you know what I'm saying, of having a job, juggling, doing what you need to do for yourself, what you need to do for the job, what you need to do as a husband, what you was this act. It's regular shit, you know what I'm saying? Things that we have become accustomed to. Would you rather, and this is spawned from a conversation that James Baldwin had with Ella Fitzgerald. I believe that's her name. Pardon me if I'm wrong. Somebody please correct me. But would you rather have a situation in which you played face for the job, came back, and you had a woman strong enough for you to be able to just lash out on? Or would you rather be on some shit where you go to the job and, you know what I mean, you play what you need to play, and you come home and you fake love for your wife?
Wait, which? Whoa, I don't like neither one of them options. Cause what do you mean by lashing out? Like I'm like venting to her, or like I'm like being emotionally abusive to her?
Both. Both. And the reason why I asked this is because there's a snippet. Now, I haven't watched the full conversation, but Ella Fitzgerald, from a snippet of this conversation, was talking to James Baldwin and said, I would rather my husband come back home and feign love to me, fake your love to me, than for you to come back home and I have to deal with the burdens of everything that you deal with, as far as how you try to satisfy your boss, you try to satisfy your associates, you try to satisfy this, that, and the person. And then when you come back home, you just release all these burdens onto me and I gotta deal with it. I'd rather
Okay.
love with me the same way you fake your love with them. So that's what
Well,
question is coming from. What would you rather have? Would you rather have a woman that has the tolerance enough for you to be able to just like raw burdens on, or would you rather have a household in which you can fake your love with when it comes to your woman, just so that she thinks that she feels like she's in a loving, compatible relationship?
um, ideally, I would want someone I can like unload all my issues on, like the same way she would be able to unload her issues on me. With that said, I personally haven't dated too many women that want to hear a man bitch and moan about what's going on in his life. You know, like yeah, like here, like what's going on. Like if I'm having like a super rough day, you know, like I want to hear my issues. But like if it's like a consistent thing and I'm like consistently coming home like, yo, I can't stand my fucking boss like every day. No, she's not gonna want to hear that. So it kind of, I guess, like a little bit of both, like in that instance, you know, like I want someone that could merge a nice blend of both, like for me, you know. I don't want someone that's just going to sit there every time and allow me to bitch and complain, because honestly, at the event the first time, like if I'm not putting in the effort to change it, like what am I doing? I'm just making a pattern out of complaining, and that's not really healthy. That's not really beneficial. That's not doing nothing for me. That's just complaining. And but I don't want to not feel like I can't even talk to her, like where I'm like trying to open up and I'm trying to get my shit off, because you do need a person to talk to, like, and we don't say that enough as men. Like we walk around trying to shoulder everything inside and try to deal with everything inside, and that start eating us up from the inside, like, and we don't really get that shit off. Like, yo, sometimes I just need to talk. Like, and they don't even, sometimes the conversation don't even need to be long, but it just need to be a conversation, you know, like, and as I'm getting older, I find myself, you know, reaching out to my uncles more, because I don't have my step pop here no more, and my grandpa. Both of them is, you know, God hopefully up there. But I'm reaching out to my uncles more because I'm finding myself in situations where I need that conversation. Like I need that OG wisdom at times, you know, or I just need like a listening ear, and I want someone that has enough wisdom, or at least I feel like has enough wisdom in a particular subject to, you know, give me some real game, or at least like when they listen to my issues, if they do give me feedback, I can take it as something constructive, you know, instead of just hearsay and just being like, all right, I'm still in the loss, you know.
I respect that. I respect that. Let me get to these comments before we continue on, though. The Bouquet Junkie said, no one wants to hear anyone complaining consistently. That's a problem. That's a
Yeah.
fact. And that African Butterfly said, I want to hear my guy's issues and I want to be a sounding board for him. But I'm also not trying to date a Debbie Downer. Let's come up with some solutions or change our attitude about the problem. I love these responses. I love these responses. Here's my issue with the whole be his peace thing. I understand what people are trying to say. I understand. I even understand what the young lady is trying to say as far as the promo video that we use. You know what I mean, to usher in this topic. Here's the issue. Once again, it comes back to people not falling back on their keys as far as what it takes to push forward on a healthy relationship. If you don't have a partner that you can communicate with, regardless, that person shouldn't be your partner. The problem is, and I fell in this trap before with a past relation, is niggas. The reason why, first of all, the whole phrase of man up is a completely testosterone driven statement. Women that are using that man up shit, stop it, B. Stop it, Five. Like that shit is straight testosterone driven. It straight is. You know what I'm saying? A
It's not beneficial to the man.
man up. A nigga supposed, if I'm at the job and I work at Home Depot. Injuries are promised every week. I don't care if it's something as small as a splinter to breaking your leg. Injuries are promised every week. No bullshit. So we already have the circumstances understood about where all of us are. All of us are we are all under the same umbrella that we are promised injuries weekly. if my man, if my associate, if homie get a cut and he leaking, I'ma feel for you initially because damn man, you got. If you ain't do nothing to wrap that shit up and I'm still hearing you in 5 minutes, hey man up, B. I don't wanna hear that shit. Cause I got shit to do. I still got a paycheck I gotta go get. I still got shit that I gotta do myself. And plus if I'm paying attention to all the shit that you talk about now, I'm putting myself at risk for me getting the gash or me getting the broken shit. Cause like the job is a mindful job. If you're not mindful at the job, you will get injured. And I need to be able to put my focus and my full attention on all the shit I'm doing. Like if I'm talking with you, I'm talking with you. But also, if I'm talking with you, I run the risk of having a supervisor or manager, somebody pull me aside and possibly write me up. Whatever the situation could be that could potentially harm my paycheck and potentially harm my status here in the company. So we have to be smart about how we do it. If we sitting and we talking, we sitting and we talking. If we working, we working. It's very little grounds where the two can mix and the two can merge. So that's a completely testosterone driven statement as far as that man up shit. You know what I mean? That's one. Two, once again, accountability. Niggas, they put it upon themselves to try to be the superhero in their relationships. They put it upon themselves to try to be.
Okay, that's true.
I'm gonna be the one to, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be the one to make sure that this relationship works and shit. You know what I'm saying? You
But
know,
you don't think that's embedded in us from? You don't think that's embedded in us from all the relationship stereotypes we've been hearing as kids growing up about how you the man, you the protector, you the leader, you the provider. They don't fall into the leadership of yo. I gotta guide this relationship.
here's the thing: knowledge of self. Once again, accountability. If you have knowledge of self, you know what works and you know what doesn't. Like I had a talk with my lady not too long ago, and I was letting her know that I am guilty of fighting the wrong battle sometimes. It's in my DNA to fight for things that I care about. It's in my DNA to fight for people I care about. However, before I had full knowledge of self, I'm guilty for fighting for things that had nothing to do with the shit that I needed to be fighting for. You feel where I'm coming from?
No,
So
I hear exactly what you.
man fights for their relationship, but it is on that man for them to understand what the fuck are you fighting for real? You fighting for somebody who is adamant in not understanding you? You fighting for somebody who doesn't want to communicate with you? You fighting for somebody who doesn't want to honor your emotional capacities? If that's the case, it ain't got shit to do with the woman. That's on you, player.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. And I think a lot of times we as men, we don't even realize that, like, well, I'm gonna speak for myself, you know, like, cause it's been times in the past, like, I didn't realize I was in that until like I was already heavily invested into the woman, like where I'm like, damn, like everything I'm really invested in is not like she's not really meeting what I want or what I'm looking for, like.
Yeah.
And I could see why I'm getting frustrated in the situation, but I done put all this time into this person, you know, and trying to cultivate this person to be this person. So, like, where do I go from here? You know, like, but yeah, that's, you know, hey, Jeide, you kind of got me reminiscing about somebody. I wanna,
Real shit though. You feel me?
yeah,
Pretty Rude said men can't tell women how to be good women. Vice versa. People need to fight their own, pardon me, people need to fight for their own peace. None of our paths are the same. Everyone is a passerby. I agree with this statement the fullest because that be his peace shit, I understand where it comes from. And here's another thing too. I don't trip too much about the whole happy wife, happy life thing. I don't trip much about it. The reason why is because most motherfuckers forget that we're talking about wives in that rhyme. We're not just talking about the average woman. We're not talking about girlfriends. We're not talking about fuck buddies. We're not talking about your home. Real shit. Let's call it spade.
it's fake.
We're
Yeah,
talking
no, this is
wife.
somebody you made a commitment to.
And the word tells us, and if you subscribe to the word, if you subscribe to marriage, it's the same difference. When you're married to somebody, you cleave to another person and you become one with that person. So if that person is happy, if you are pouring into that, the understanding is that that person is pouring into you. It's synergetic. So yes, happy wife, of course equates a happy life, because a happy wife wants you to be happy. A happy wife will work towards you being happy. Just because you don't hear that part don't mean that that has any less of a value. It's like seeing one side of the coin. Dash, if I came up to you right now with a 50-cent piece, do you need to see the backside of that 50-cent piece for you to be able to take it from me and know it's a 50-cent piece?
Yeah, because I just don't.
Oh, but and look, and I don't feel any type of way, but that means you don't trust me.
Well, I don't trust nobody with money at all.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And that, once again, that's not a bad thing, but that means that there's a level of trust that needs to be understood as far as to identify with. For me, if one of my homies came with $100 bill and it was like, yo, hold this. I don't need to see the back of the $100 for me to be able to be like, yo, this is $100 for sure. If I so happen to see it, it is what it is. But I know what money constitutes, and I know where it's coming from. It's not like I just got this from a stranger. I know where it came from. I know the character of the person that I'm dealing with. I know the fiber of the person as far as their moral compass, as far as their ethics, as far as their mentality. I don't need to verify. I don't need to take the $100 bill and go to the bank and ask them, could you make sure that this is real? I don't.
well, I don't need all that either. And like, I don't even say it like on some like totally untrusting way. Because, well, I don't trust people with money, but like also like people get fooled sometimes. And like I've been working with money for a long time, so like I don't know. Like somebody could give you the bill, and you could really think it's $100 bill and pass it to me, thinking wholeheartedly like, yo, this is legit. And I see it, and I'd be like, oh damn, bro, they got you. Like that's just where I come from. So like, if you pass me money, no, I'm always checking it, because like, you know, like now that it's in my possession, I don't even want that on me of like, yo, I'm trying to snake you, because if you ask for it back and I give you that same bill, I don't want you going, this shit feel a little funny. You trying to get me now? I'm like, no, nigga, just the same joint you gave me. Now we like.
That's a fact. That's a Pretty Rude said, you don't become one, you become a partnership. People's relationships fail when they neglect themselves as individuals. Our journeys are our journeys solely. I agree with that, but once again, that kind of sounds like you're responding to a trap I see a lot of people respond to. Just because you become one with somebody doesn't mean that you give up your autonomy. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. Perfect example. I'm one with my company, High Five. We move as one, which means that if any one of us aren't in agreement with a decision, we ain't gonna move on that decision, even if that decision has financial bearings. We ain't gonna move on it because we don't agree. Now, it doesn't go to say that anybody's one opinion is higher than the other, because once again, we're one. We have to be able to sit in a place where compromise exists and it's mutual. You know what I'm saying? When my mom was still here, there were things that I like to eat, and there were things that my mom liked to eat. There was things that I like to eat against my own healthy choices or whatnot, and there was things on the same with my mom, right? But there's only a certain amount of income. There's only a certain type of budget that would be able to facilitate everything and encompassing everything in terms of what we would eat on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, which means what? There has to be a compromise. Now, because I was the caretaker, I took it upon myself to take most of the compromise in certain situations, which means why? Some days I didn't eat cheesecake to make sure that my mom ate greens. That's just an example, right? I don't bitch and complain about it, because I know that the day is going to come in which I will be able to eat cheesecake and my mom will understand. That's what a relationship is. That's what working as one is when you're able to synergetically move with somebody. It's not giving up your autonomy. That's a fallacy. It's when you're able to move mindful about another person's individuality. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if I'm with my woman and my woman is allergic to shrimp, I'm not gonna bring shrimp scampi home and then get mad that she doesn't eat and try to rationalize it by saying, but I bought food. But I bought food, babe. I bought food for us to eat, babe. No, because that's not mindful. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit mindful about that. That's egotistic. That's moving from an individual state of mind. That's moving from a place where it's like, well, I would eat this, so she should be able to eat this, even if she has an anaphylactic shock or a reaction. But did you die? You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, man. Niggas ain't mindful, B. And it happens on the other side, too. Some of these women ain't mindful about this shit, B. That's why so many people are afraid about being one with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Or when you do cleave to the wrong person, that's when you get these inconsistencies. That's when you get people that want you to give up your autonomy for the better of the better good, the greater good. I hate greater good too. I hate that statement. That's why I'm not too much into politics, because politics hinge on the greater good. The greater good means that there's a lesser good, which means that there's always a loophole for evil to exist. I don't fuck with that shit, bro. I don't fuck with that shit.
I mean, but that's true though. Like, cause you can't have the good without the bad. Like, that's part of what the yin yang is about. Like, so like embrace it. Like, it's just part of what comes with it. Like, that's kind of how you able to decipher between the two. But Pretty Rude got a comment down here that kind of jumped out to me. Females and males have very different perspectives, and that's true. Because all right, so earlier in the comments, I'm not sure if you said the comment or not, but they were talking about Pretty Rude and Miss Davis were talking about how men and women have different perspectives in the relationship as far as like the hierarchy, and Pretty Rude was saying that men, we look at it as like we want our women to almost worship us, and I agree with that to a large extent. But with that, I will say this: like for me personally, yes, I do want that in my relationship. I do want my lady to kind of almost idolize me a little bit, But with that said, it's like that's so little to ask, where it's like I'm expected to give and provide, like if all I'm looking for is just like a little bit of like like this is my man, like really what's so bad about that? Like, and for me, I grew up in a household where I seen that with my grandparents, and I seen how that love lasted, and I seen how, like, yeah, while my grandma might have put my grandpa on like a kind of pedestal, he put her on a pedestal even higher, where it was just like, that same love was reciprocated. It wasn't like it was just one fold. So maybe because I see it through that same lens, that's what I want and that's what I crave for.
That's a fact. And once again, what you said is a perfect example of what I'm trying to say. It's like, yo, everything ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, the whole concept of being one with another person, that shit don't fit with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? Even though it's a solid science, it's not everybody's science. You know what I mean? Once again, I take it back to the job, Home Depot. I done literally I've been in situations in Home Depot where I done seen everybody working as one, as a well-oiled machine, where the communication verbally is not as prominent as just having a certain intuition and clicking.
Yeah.
Clicking.
No, when the chemistry is real, you don't even gotta say it. Like that's why I be trying to tell the people, like, if I can sit with you in silence, like that's a good thing. Like if I feel like I need to fill every moment we together with words or something, I feel like we really ain't connecting, because like I let my guard down for you to really digest me, like by just like sitting there still, like.
But also, you know what I mean, to add to that as well, it's also the silence that is an extremely important part of any partnership, any relationship, just to be able to sit with your own voice, you know what I mean, and allow another person to sit with their own voice and share the same space. That's beautiful. But the other thing also is just, once again, an intuition, you know what I mean? Like knowing to pass the ball at this point. You know what I'm saying? Basketball teams work as one.
Yeah.
LeBron James is fucking LeBron James, right?
But he still needs them 4 other guys, though.
Michael Jordan is fucking Michael Jordan, right? These idols are idols regardless of the stats of the rest of the team because of the work that they put in. But they ain't shit without the rest of the team, period. You ain't going to put LeBron James alone against the entire Clippers. You ain't going to put Michael Jordan alone against the entire Boston Celtics. Guess who's going to win?
Right.
Common. Right. But once again, everything ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? Some people, they move better as individuals instead of being able to relinquish the aspect of them having 100% control, and you got to respect that. But also, you have to understand that there's certain limitations with whatever walk we choose to make. You know what I'm saying? Once again, if I decide to become one with another person, there's certain things that I won't be able to do as 100% me.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to eat that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense for me to have both of the worlds because something is going to collide. Something is going to self-destruct because I'm being too much of myself to allow a selfless me to help grow a situation that is, of course, beyond just me. Or on the flip, I'm being too selfless to allow all of my personal desires and wants to manifest in the way that I want them to manifest for me. So you got to know what works for you. That's what this shit really boils down to. It's like, you know what I mean? Ain't no real universal call or order when it comes to this shit. You could try. You could try. Everybody growing. Everybody growing every day. And at any given point in time, a motherfucker's gonna be at a different developmental point in their growth. So it's not like you could talk to the same person today as the same person that you talked to yesterday. You don't know what they fucking been reading. You don't know what they've been watching. You don't know what type of shadow work they've been doing within the 24 hours period of time. You don't know shit. So you're the same person. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know a damn thing about them, for real, for real.
For real. And plus, like, and talking about, because I see Pretty Rude, pardon me. I see Pretty Rude's comment, but do y'all idolize women? Listen, personally, don't idolize me. That's too much pressure. You know, I'm not gonna idolize my wife because I don't want to be idolized. I'ma honor her. I'ma love the fuck out of her, and I'ma honor her, but I'm not gonna idolize her, and I don't want to be idolized. That's too much pressure. I know I'm.
But you don't gotta be perfect to be idolized, though.
I'm cool with being loved and respected. Give me love, give me respect. Keep that idolization for whatever you choose to idolize. Don't put that on me. I'm cool.
Like I said, I personally want that. I personally want that. But I don't feel like you need to be perfect to be idolized, though. I do think that's like I like I never met an idol that didn't go through a rough patch in their life at some point, you know, or did some checkered shit. So like I never look at it where it's just like, yo, if I'm viewing you as an idol, you need to be 100% perfect all the time. Like kind of almost like how Will was, like how we had this perception of who he was, and the moment he did something quote unquote out of character, now it's just like, oh, we're gonna do this. It's just like, no, I'm going to live in my truth. I'm going to be me. Yeah, you can idolize me, but idolize the fact that I'm embracing who I am, mistakes and all, you know. And that's why I'm just like, you know, like I'm gonna idolize her. And maybe I'm using the wrong word because it's just really just kind of putting her on like, you know, a higher scale, just like holding her up, like, and just being like, you know what, this is my baby, like this is the woman I chose to love, and I chose to love her for a reason, you know. So why wouldn't I put her on this higher scale of things, you know? Like why wouldn't I hold her up to this light? Like this is who I chose for a reason, like.
That's a fact. But let me ask you this. We're gonna come back to we gotta come back to mindfulness because this whole week I've been seeing a lot of shit about what Jeide said as far as didn't want to marry Will.
Yo, I posted that too. Like that was a heart piece.
Crying when she was walking down the altar. She didn't feel like it. She didn't love him this way. She didn't do this. You know what I'm saying?
I probably would have walked away if I was Will. Like, well, I would have walked away. Like,
now let's keep things all the way funky. Let's play it fair throughout the whole entire field. If we gonna play it, let's play it fair. Now, we understand as men that if we love somebody and we're excited about somebody, we want to show them off, right?
yeah.
However, if you
Especially if she fired too.
if you come across a woman who doesn't want that attention, once again, we going right back to the shrimp scampi example. If a woman doesn't want that type of attention, but you still go against her wishes and give it to her, what are you truly honoring? You feel what I'm saying? Like
that was me before. I ain't gonna hold you.
You said what?
I said that was me before. I'm not gonna hold you.
I mean, nigga, all of us had moments like that before where we have to learn how to talk to women and we have to learn how to listen to women. You know what I'm saying? Because we just wired different. You know what I'm saying? We can talk to each other and we can understand where we coming from. You know what I mean? This is the reason why true men can come to blows and still be cool afterwards. You know?
Yeah, because you know what you was fighting for.
Seen it. Yeah, I've seen it with my own eyes. Like niggas could come to blows and still be cool afterwards. Like the day, all right, let's get back to it. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the bad blood out. Like it's whatever now. You know what I mean? I done seen one of the flyest things I ever seen in my life, and that helped. It was like it helped to shape me at my formative years. I'll never forget it. We was in like middle school and shit. Got off the bus. Two niggas was like, I don't know why they just wanted to scrap it. I'm talking about to the point that they were busting each other lip, bloody and eyes bloody and everything. Like the niggas was getting it the fuck in, right? We was in the backyard. We used to live in this apartment complex called Bristol Gardens, right in Bristol, PA. So we was in the backyard where it would be like 4 buildings in a square, and then it would be a community backyard for those 4 buildings for each unit. You know what I'm saying? Or for each group of units and shit. So we was in one of these community backyards. Niggas was getting it in. So the one nigga backed up, and the other homie, he had a clear shot, but it was like, yo, watch out, because there was a mud patch right behind him. If he kept on backing, he would have slipped. The other nigga was telling him, yo, come up, because he didn't want that type of win. What a bullshit win. He wanted to fight him at his full. He wanted to fuck him up at his full. He ain't want no excuse. He ain't want nothing. He wanted it to be a square, fair fight. They kept rolling. The other nigga backed up into a tree. The other homie was like, yo, go to the side. Because he didn't want him to be up against a tree and fucking him up. He wanted it to be fair and square. And when I seen that, it really helped me to determine how real niggas move and shit. I ain't gonna hold you. I still had a lot to learn, you know what I mean? Because it's life, you know what I'm saying? You're learning every day. But I learned that at a real early age, and that helped me to understand exactly how niggas move. Like real niggas move different. We don't care. We don't want the half-ass win. We want to fully earn the shit. You know?
But I'm gonna talk shit at that one. You know, and I don't need you talking about some no, you only won because of this too. Like, no, like I want you to know I kicked your ass. Like, and then we're gonna move on. I honestly done made some of my best friends like that, like at the fights. Like we get in there, we fight it out, and then the next day we best friends. Like they ride or die. Like I know what you can do. Like it make me more comfortable to be myself around, because if I'm ever caught slipping, I know, yo, he got hands. Like when we got there, my man fucked my jaw up. Like, so you start having more confidence in your friends. But like I also feel like us as men, like we kind of know when we are fighting each other what we're fighting for. Like as opposed to like well, I don't even know, because I don't even know every situation, but I'm just talking about like some of the situations I've seen. Every female, sometimes they don't even know what they're fighting for, or like what they're fighting for isn't really what the other is fighting for. Like they're fighting for 2 different reasons. Like with men, like when we come to blows, it's typically, yo, I know what we specifically both know what the issue is, and we're fighting because of that specific issue. Once that's resolved, like we don't have an issue. Like that's why it's so easy for us to go and just be like, all right, what's good with you? You know what I'm saying? Busting up, because that was the issue. Like that's resolved. We don't have no tension. Like, and then with women, it's just like all this bad blood that lasts for months or long game, because the issue is still ongoing. Like nothing was resolved. Like,
you know, and once again, accountability, man, because nothing will resolve, because niggas have a tendency to be, and I've done this before. I still do this from time to time. I've gotten a bit better with it, because I've humbled myself to allow myself to listen to what's really going on outside of just listening to myself. Because for me, for a long time, I've always been in a space where it's like, I fixed it, cool, we over it. Let's keep it pushing. I normalize very quickly. I normalize so quickly if somebody doesn't bring me to recognize what a issue was, and I'm 12 feet ahead, I'll start feeling some type of way that we're 12 feet ahead, but you bringing me back. I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's where I'm still at.
But the one thing, once again, I've come to realize about women is, hey, you might have fixed it for yourself, but I still feel this type of way. And I just need somebody to honor my feelings. It's really that simple. Women just want somebody that's going to honor their feelings and not make them feel dejected for how they feel. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, that's where you get certain things like, it ain't about who's right. And then sometimes it confuses niggas because we be like, what do you mean? Then what the fuck are we talking about? Like, if it's not about who's right, then what the fuck?
Where's the argument? Like,
What is the argument?
Right? Like, why is this even a conversation then? Like, that's why I said, like, I'm still there. Like, I'm on that path. You know, like, I'm trying to honor the feelings, but at the same time, it's just like, well, damn, how long do I honor the feelings before I say, you know what, like, how long is this really gonna be an issue? Because when it's the other hand is told, yo, come on, bro, man up, like, going back to the man up to him, like, man up, this shouldn't be an issue. And it's just like, all right, when I try to spin that same shit around, that isn't met with the same energy. Like, it's not with a, oh, so my feelings don't matter now. What? I never said that. I never said that at all. I just said, can we wrap it up? Like,
Oh God. Pretty Rude said, facts and logic matter more than feelings. Same way men choose who love them, but that isn't who they love. Yo, that's a dangerous trip right there. And I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. And I ain't no guru or no love. I ain't never gonna purport myself to be. But there's one thing that I do know. If you pick somebody based upon them loving you and not you loving them, the shit's gonna be disastrous. Get every fucking time. Because the scales are already imbalanced. If we talking about what balance means, and you love me more than I, the shit is imbalanced and shit. And I've been there. And I know what happens. You're gonna run into a brick wall, shit's gonna self-explode or implode, something's gonna happen. The shit is not sustainable, B. This shit
man, it's selfish.
fucking sustainable. Because one of the aspects, I'm not gonna say love, because once again, I ain't no love guru, but just like learning, living and learning, one of the aspects of love is you gotta jump outside of yourself.
Yes.
Love ain't fully like all safe. Love ain't fully all safe. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers gotta jump out of themselves for you to be able to see the true you without the armors, without the constructs that you've created over the time, whether they be of traumas, whether they be of self-protection, because none of that shit matters when it comes to, you know what I'm saying? So in instances in which true love is manifesting itself, you put yourself further away from love, the more these layers and these walls you put up. It only makes sense, right? Because the more walls you put up between yourself and something else, the further you're creating a divide for it. That's why love is so scary and shit. You know what I mean? Because true love, when you really break down, you got to jump outside yourself, man. You going into uncharted waters. You going into territory, which means that if I happen to be hurt, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. You know what I mean? And it's the other side too. But that's what makes love beautiful, because it's like we both outside of our skin. If I hurt you, I hurt me. Or if I hurt you, I leave myself open enough to be hurt as well. And I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt. And in that
That's what love's supposed to be.
you feel me? And that understanding being on the other side of the fence, the other person having that understanding means what? We can't hurt each other because we love each other. It's simple. We make it difficult. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. And that's just peopling. Like, because, like, if everybody took their mindset, cheating to be down, heartbreak to be down, like, relationships to be more open and honest, like, you have more fun, more of that out there. But I think we take, like, we take the single mindset into relationships, and we never dispose of the single mindset. Like, we forever holding on to, oh, I gotta be good, I gotta be straight, I gotta be, and then it's what's like, no, like, that's what the priority is.
Right.
How does this benefit us?
Thanks.
You know, not me. And let me stop thinking me out the category. How is this going to make us feel? How is this going to make my partner feel? And then that's going to benefit the relationship in the long run.
That's a super fact, yo.
You know,
Said Love is sacrifice.
Yeah, it is.
Simply put. Simply put. You know what I'm saying? Simply put.
And a lot of us wind up sacrificing to the wrong person. And when we do run into a person that's worth sacrificing for, we make them jump through all these leaps and hurdles that kind of prove their worthiness of our love. That eventually they get tired of fighting that, and then we just continue this cycle of toxicity over and over again, where no one needs is getting met, and we're all running around looking for self. And it's just like, well, when is it? When really can like idolize, because we keep idolizing and romanticizing how love was back in the day. It's just like, but none of us are using the methods that they used back in the day. Of course our love is different. Of course we aren't getting the same results because we aren't even putting in the same work. It's like I'm expecting to be Steph Curry, but I never once worked on my three-pointer. Like I was just in the driveway doing layups. Now I'm on the court and I'm thinking I'm about to throw up 30 footers and they go in. Like I'm delusional. Like I'm setting myself up for failure at this point. So it's just like if I put in this real work, if I really care about this person, I'm really going to take the time to work on myself and be better for myself. Then in turn, I can be better for that person. If that person is the person I'm supposed to be with. Because in that, I also had to be careful and be mindful. And you know what, Jeide, because you saved me, because I'm at the point now where I'm finally comfortable to like kind of start branching out, and I'm starting to get in the mix of dating again after my last situation. And I'm mindful of what you said. Like, this is like a good handful of podcasts ago, like where you mentioned the quote from your grandma she said the beginning of any relationship is the most dangerous,
Yeah.
because that's when you're forming it and you're really. And I've been mindful of that, like even in my small interactions with people, and it's just been like throughout the talking process, if something just the slightest of red flags come up, I'm checking that right there, because I'm just like, nah, I ain't even gonna give it the chance to mold. Like if this, I ain't even gonna give you the chance to stay longer than you need to stay. Like, let me just nip this shit in the butt, because this is gonna be an issue for me if I don't address this now. Like, and it's been one thing that I've been staying on, like that's been helping me throughout this process of kind of, branching back out, a little bit.
Oh, shout out to grandma, man.
Yeah. Shout out to grandma. See, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you need the OG wisdom. Like, like sometimes I can't go to the homies. Like I can go to the homies, but it's only so much they can pull from to give to me, And what I'm looking for might be more extensive than I feel like they can provide me at that time. There's no slight to them. It's just like realistically is where we at in life. Like,
Yeah, fact.
and if I had the opportunity to talk to someone that experienced more of this thing we call life and have more of a pool of wisdom to pull from, more perspectives and interactions with people than just my understanding, then yeah, I am going to reach out to them. And then sometimes you talk to someone, you realize, look, I'm the wrong party. Like,
Bro.
I'm the one in the wrong. Like, and you do need a different perspective to kind of shine light on you to make you be like, oh, okay, yeah, now I can see where I fucked up and led them astray, as opposed to, no, they had me fucked up the whole time.
That's for real, for real. Let's get to some of these comments, though. Virgo 911 said, so true. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable and receive love. Once you trust yourself, you can allow someone in your space.
Yeah, that's real. Can I like that, John? Yeah.
Word, word. And Pretty Rude said, all friends aren't friends. If you know more than the people around you, you got to find new peoples.
That's true too. And it don't mean you gotta get rid of them people that's already in your circle. You could keep them in your circle and expand the circle and raise the knowledge of everybody. Like just because you may be the smartest person in your group doesn't mean you have to abandon that group. Just mean you have to expand it.
I dig it. I dig it. You know what I mean? And once again, you know what I mean, to bring in something that I've already talked about, especially, you know what I mean, with the transition of my mom and just like, having the shifting of the gods, if you will, you know what I'm saying? Just like having connections shift some connections dropping, some connections being added. You know what I mean? I found myself in a place where, you know, I actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna make this about me because this is like a human condition thing. Once you find yourself in a situation in which you start to focus on yourself, you'll know who your real friends are. I don't give a fuck what we're talking about, and I don't give a fuck who you are, because the typical human condition is lazy as fuck, and it's so lazy that we tend to sometimes lean on the next person for their resources that they have, for the energy that they might be able to lend to us, for, you know what I mean, the way that they make us feel, for the things that they lend us when we need it. And then when that shit is cut off, and now it's like, hey, you gotta fend for yourself, homie. And there's no love lost neither. It's not like I want to go to war with you. It's not like I don't fuck with you no more. It's just like, yo, shit has changed over in my village, man. I gotta close up the shop. There's hyenas around this motherfucker now. You know what I mean? It used to be all gazelles. Real shit. It used to be all gazelles. When there was gazelles, you could come over, you could eat some. We would chop up some of these motherfuckers. You can even take some home to your village, but it's all hyenas around here. If you not coming with some shit to help me kill these hyenas, I can't help you, bro. And then motherfuckers start to feel some type of way. And it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. Because then you really see who's around you just for the convenience of being around you.
Yeah. No, that's how life will expose your friends for you. You know, like life is going to expose who your true friends are through like situations, like real life situations reveal who your real life friends are. Like we all have friends in various degrees, but those real life situations kind of pit into levels of where they rank at. Like, cause some friends are gonna come through for you in the clutch. Like, and whatever the time is, it's just like, look, whatever it is, I'm pulling up. I got you. And then you got them sometime friends where it's just like, you know, if it aligns in my schedule, I got you, you know. And then you got those that be like, you know, they say they got you, but never really got you, you know. And you kind of figure out like through different situations who those are, and it's like, you know, you start to able to kind of categorize them where you could be like, you know, I'm not going to reach out to this person for that because I know they can't help me with that, as opposed to this person for this person.
Right.
And it always stands out to me like where I hear like different friend conversations go on, and like you'll hear like the one friend be like, well, why didn't you call me for such and such? And it's just be like, well, and my mind jumps to immediately because you aren't reliable for such and such. You know, that's why. You know, if you were, a call would have been made. Like,
I would have
not because of what you have displayed to this person, they don't feel like you're a reliable source. Like, and it's not a slight, but it just is what it is. Like, in moments of crisis, I'm not looking to be Mr. Friendly. I'm looking for the people who can get the job done, and that's gonna keep me alive. If we're at war, the job is for us to make it home alive, not to be buddy buddy and, you know, take selfies or whatever. Like,
not to be buddy buddy and take selfies. I love it.
I'm just saying, like, you know, like, you gotta be real about it. You gotta be real about it, like,
Real.
because I think about it. All right, so I had this one situation for my 23rd birthday, and I had just bought this car. It was Mercury Milan 2009 all white baby. You know, windows was tinted. That was my fucking car, Jeide. Like, when I tell you I love that car, I love that car. Like, but this was the first week I had brought it. You know, it was the week of my birthday too, so I brought it as like a birthday gift to myself, splurging hard on it. Went to work the day of my birthday. Shouldn't have, you know. So I did a quick little 2-hour shift, you know, full of meetings. Then my coworkers, they took me to the bar, got me so hammered. I was supposed to meet up with K9, you know, rest in peace, you know, and a couple of homies from high school that evening. Jeide, when I tell you I was so trashed, I got behind the car. I drove maybe half a street, and I was just like, between the weed I smoked and the alcohol I consumed, I was on cloud. I don't even know. But I was jumping in and out of lanes, making cross, doing extra dangerous shit like for no reason. Where I finally pulled over into like this one parking lot, and like the first person that came to mind was our brother K9. I called him immediately. I was just like, "Yo, bro, I'm fucked up. I need you to come get me."
Right.
My guy drove 2 hours because he was already out in Southwest Philadelphia. I'm in fucking Warminster, Pennsylvania. He drove 2 hours to pick up somebody, then to come to get me, so they can drive his car while he drove my car to get me safe. And I was just like, you know what? Every friend not going to do that, you know. But that was a real life situation where, you know, he came through and showed me, nah, I'm his nigga, like, you my bro, like, you know, like, I got your back. Like, because, like, I could have called a number of people and they could have hit me with the, that's kind of far, bro. Like, you can't call an Uber or something, you know, like, so, like, that was just, like, a example of, like, a real situation. Like, life will show you and put you in predicaments where, you know, you'll see who your friends are and who's going to come for you in certain moments.
That's a fact. That's a fucking fact. You know what I'm saying? Look, we rounding off on the 66-minute mark on this conversation. Thank you, everybody who's joined us up in this comment section. You know what I mean? Thank you to you, Dash, for bringing up this topic. Has been so fruitful. Everybody involved.
I know. I do feel like this was a fruitful, like, you know, nice little dish on a Sunday evening. You know, like real plentiful and balanced for the soul. You know. Oh, and if anybody know about plant recipes and the plant diets, you know, throw them my way, you know, because I am thinking about incorporating some of it into my daily eating habits. I'm trying to switch up a little bit, trying to get away from so many fried foods. You know, I ain't saying I'm stopping, but I'm just slowing down, you know. I'm being realistic with my expectations.
I'm gonna be right there with you too, man. I was just talking to Scott and shit, you know what I mean? The brother up here, and like he took me to this fly ass steakhouse yesterday, was it? I think it was yesterday. And day before yesterday. And I ate the steak, man. I had to save some, ate it the next day, and I had some pizza, man. My stomach rock, nigga. Like my stomach felt like somebody shot. I'm like, I can't do red meat no more. I'm like, all this extra shit dead. Let's chill with chicken and fish, and we'll see where we go from there. Because this hit me.
Yo, real talk. See, you reminiscing about the Jeide of yesteryear. Like that's what we used to do. It'd be like the next day, it'd be like, oh yeah, I get some pizza. And back in the day, you'd be wondering why your parents look at you all crazy and be like, what you mean? Like, that was yesterday. Like, now we understand. It's just like, still holding that cheeseburger from last week. But I don't know.
Saying it. Not at 34. If I was 28, not at 34. This ain't it. This ain't it.
I know. I'm at that point too. Like, I was with my nephew and he was just like, cheeseburger. And I was just like, no, fish. Like, I was just like, no. I was just like, I'm starting you young. You're just going to have to hate me during the early years and appreciate it as you get old.
Fact, though, man. Look, that's a super fact. Oh, God. All right. But before we wrap up, Dash, you know how we get down. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Since you brought up the topic, I'm going to start with my lasting word of what I feel is like the last thing as far as our, you know what I mean, how we going to end this conversation and round it off. And for me, remix the topic, and I'm going to be like, yo, be your own piece, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't be your own piece, I guarantee you can't be nobody else's piece. And you ain't going to never be satisfied, or you ain't never going to be grateful with somebody else's piece upon your life. If you ain't, you know what I mean? So that's what my last word is. Be your own piece, man.
That's perfect. That's a perfect way to sum it up. So first, I'm going to say definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. You know, Positive Vibes maybe on YouTube. show us love. Also, shout out to T-shirt Mercenary. Jeide's wearing one of the official hoodies of PVM. So if they're looking for any PVM merchandise, definitely jump in the DMs and let us know. And for lasting words, I love that so much. Being your own peace, because it does start with self-love. Self-love is the best love, and it all starts within, because you can only pour from what's already filled. And with that saying, also be mindful of who you're pouring into. Like, be selective. Hold yourself accountable to your standards. And raise the level of your standards. Make loving you as worthwhile as you feel you are. View the investment that you are as a person and say, what, this is who I am. And a person shouldn't be able to just come through and just be able to just give me minimal and that keep me satisfied. If you feel like you're worth $1 million, make a person pay $1 million to have access to your energy. And hold firm on that. Because if someone really cares about you and really is invested into you, it won't seem like that big of an issue for them. And it won't be a big of task for them. It'll come naturally. Because love is easy, like we make it hard.
Facts. And with that being said, with that motherfucking gem being said, you know what I'm saying? We gonna see y'all this week, Wednesday, 7 p.m., same time, same place, PVM Talk Show. I'm just
Y'all know the vibes.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all already know the vibes. Sunday night, get your vice, live it up, recap us, turn on your favorite TV show or your favorite basketball game. Sixers up by 2 points right now, 62-60 on the Pistons. But don't worry, Joel Embiid and James Harden now playing, so it's not a real big thing. But the playoffs do start Tuesday, so tune in for that. And also, show I just got into this fire, but I'm mad late. The shot, like,
yeah, on point, yeah.
Yeah, the shot that's been getting me. I'm on episode 7 right now, season 1.
Okay.
Started the last night, been hooked ever since.
You know what? You enjoy the shot, you know what I mean? You let me know what else happens, because after season 1, I fell off of it. Not because it got bad. I just got caught up with some other show or whatnot. Let me know what's up with that shit. Let me see if I can jump back up on the bandwagon. But until then, once again, Wednesday, 7 p.m., PVM Talk Show live. You already know what time it is, and we are out. Yeah, what up?